Back when hip-hop was growing, Biggie and Tupac were some of the most famous names. These two became stars, producing some trending hits and amazing music. However, there was always rivalry, and they were always targets of some gang or another. Eventually, the two stars were murdered, and even though they were murdered at different times, there is reason to believe it was all connected. A couple of decades later, their murders still remain a mystery, with nothing but theories on what happened. If you ever follow any news on the hip-hop world, you have probably heard that Tupac is alive, which is just a joke. However, it has been more than 20 years since the deaths of Tupac and Notorious B.I.G., popularly known as Biggie or Biggie Smalls. But for all those who listen to these two artists, their untimely, tragic shootings still weigh heavily on you. To this day, their murders are still unsolved. Over the past 2 decades, there have been a lot of conspiracy theories that have spread surrounding their deaths, and the more you look at them, the more similar they seem to be. These two stars met back in 1993. Tupac, who was a year older than Biggie, was something of a mentor to him. Tupac would give Biggie career advice from time to time since he already had a couple of years more experience. In addition, he was also more well-known at the time. However, by the mid-1990s, the West Coast had already proven itself in the hip-hop world, with the hit being Death Row Records. This label included Tupac, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg, all great artists and legends. Those who were supporting Tupac and Tupac himself thought that Biggie's 1994 song Who Shot Ya was a diss track. This was because he had been robbed and shot 2 months before the song's release. The lyrics of this song were about a situation that was very similar to what happened to Tupac, which is why he thought this way. So in retaliation, Tupac released Hit 'Em Up in 1996. And from the lyrics, he hinted at having an affair with Biggie's wife, Faith Evans. This was just the beginning of the rivalry between the two artists, and it got worse with time. On September 7, 1996, at around 11:15 p.m., Tupac and Suge Knight, the founder of Death Row Records, had just left a Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas and were heading to a party. They stopped their black BMW at a red light, and as they were waiting for the light to change, a white Cadillac pulled up next to them. 14 shots were fired, and 6 of them hit Tupac, who was in the passenger seat. One shot punctured his lung, and this was what caused him to die 6 days later at the age of 25. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department told Business Insider the case is still open and under investigation. At this time, we have no additional updates to provide, and since then, the case has gone cold, with nobody arrested. According to Biggie's wife, Faith Evans, when he heard about Tupac's death, he started fearing for his own life. Shortly after, there were rumors that Biggie was the one who planned Tupac's murder, and given that nobody was arrested, some people still believe these rumors. Evans said, "I think it would be some element of fear that would kind of run through his mind, given the fact that his name was involved in a lot of the situations involving Tupac before his murder." However, less than 6 months after Tupac was assassinated, Biggie was also shot and killed. He was leaving a party in Los Angeles after the Soul Train Awards, and as he was sitting in an SUV, another vehicle pulled up next to his and shot him. The shooter fired at Biggie 5 times, with 4 bullets hitting him, and after this, the shooter fled the scene. Biggie later died that night, at just 24 years old. Regarding this, a spokesperson for the LAPD told Business Insider of Biggie's murder. "The case is still open, and as long as a case has not been solved, it remains open. For the past 2 decades, there have been nothing but rumors and unverified theories about the murders of these two stars. There is even more room for this, given that nobody has ever been prosecuted for either murder. There have even been lots of documentaries on these murders, including 2002's Biggie and Tupac. And when you listen to some of these theories, there are some that make sense. One of the theories behind this involves Orlando Anderson. It was reported that on the night of his murder, Tupac and Anderson had a misunderstanding at the Mike Tyson match held at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. In a statement to the Sabotage Times, Tupac's former bodyguard confirmed this. On the night of the Tyson-Selden fight, a friend of Suge Knight's came up to Tupac and whispered that he had spotted Orlando Anderson in the arena. Tupac ran over, and that's when they got into it. I ran over and saw Tupac throw a couple of blows. Anderson tried to throw one back but ended up going down, and that's when a ton of Death Row Records guys jumped in on him. Since then, many have considered Anderson to be a suspect in the murder. But in 1998, he was killed in a gunfight in Compton, California, leaving everyone with unanswered questions. There have also been theories that Suge Knight, the CEO of Death Row Records, and the man in the driver's seat when Tupac got shot could have had something to do with either death. There are people who claim that he wanted Tupac removed from the picture so that he wouldn't switch record labels. There are also theories that Suge was also behind Biggie's murder as revenge for Tupac's murder. Others speculate that he killed Biggie to distract investigators from pointing the blame for Tupac's death in his direction. And that's all for today, guys. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos. Until next time.